Hello, it's Gareth here. I hope you are well. So in today's video, I want to talk about how your environment affects your behaviour. Sometimes people struggle with concentrating and working from home. I work from home. Some of you watching this may work from home. And when you sort of dig into this with them as to why they can't concentrate, you'll tend to find they're trying to work on a desk in maybe a dining room, or maybe they're sat on a couch with a laptop on the lap. They don't have a proper environment at home to work in. So the advice I give to people is create some space in your house, no matter how small it is, that's purpose built for your work. And that could be a desk in the corner of a room. It could be one particular room that you turn over to a desk space. This, in my house, is where I work. This is my place of business. And it's, to all intents and purposes, it's a basement, but it's been tanked out. It's a proper room. And down here, it's all about work. There's 2 desks, 2 computers, there's recording equipment in the form of cameras, and there's microphones for podcasts, there's books, there's a printer. This is like, if you walked into any office in the country, the things you see in an office in the country, you would find in this office. It's a place of business. It's the right environment for that. So the reason people sometimes struggle to get things done is because they're trying to do the thing they want to do. Not that they can't do it, but they're doing it in the wrong environment. If you try to do work from home and you're on your couch and there's a TV on and there's people moving about through the room, how can you concentrate? You know, you can't keep all your stuff together. You've got to keep getting up and going bits and pieces. So I'm using that as an example to start off with, that, you know, if you work from home and you want to work more efficiently, you want to have a space in your home designated to and set aside for working. A desk with some drawers in, everything you need's there. If you don't have that capacity and you do have to work from a dining room table, the way you can kind of get around that slightly is get yourself some kind of briefcase or a rucksack. So this is my rucksack, and in effect this is my office when I'm not here. I do work sometimes from different locations at clients' buildings or homes, and sometimes I'll go and work in a local library or a local coffee shop, and if I take this with me, I have everything I need in here to do business. I kind of carry my gear with me. But I know it's all in that bag and I'm good to go. So this is me taking my working environment with me. So office, which you can see, well, bits of it anyway, that's me main place of business. Me rucksack becomes another place of business. It's the same when I look at my exercise, my training. I always keep my training gear in a particular rucksack. So everything I need to go to the gym is in a rucksack. And not just go to the gym, there's running shoes in there and some training gear that I can wear. There's a water bottle that's always full. And there's a few bits in there like a spare set of headphones. So wherever I am, as long as I've got that bag with me, the environment to train is with me. And sometimes if I'm travelling and I'm out of the country, I will take things like resistance bands with me. So although I can't go to a gym potentially, I've still got some form of resistance training I can do. And even if I've got no resistance training, I know I can do press and sit-ups. But I wouldn't do them dressed in normal clothes. I would put myself into my training gear, because once you put that on, you're in an environment. Although it's your clothing, you've created a new environment within yourself and a new way of thinking that says, right, I'm here to train to do some kind of physical activity, be it running, resistance training or whatever. So it's important you understand the environment you're in affects your behaviour, but also the state of the environment you've got affects your behaviour. And the one thing that affects people mentally more than anything else, and it sounds like this wouldn't be the case, but it's true, and there's evidence now out there to state that this is correct, is if your environment is not tidy and orderly, you're going to have an untidy and an unorderly mind. There's going to be a lot of chaos. So if you look at some people who are quite chaotic, I can guarantee if you went to the homes would be chaotic. You get into the car, it's messy and chaotic. They often say, if you want to see what a man's head's like, look inside his shed. Well, I've got to be honest, that's not always the case, because my shed's a mess and I'm quite an organised guy. So if you want to start to become better at something, make sure you've got a designated space for it. If you want to become more organised at doing something in that space, make sure that space is tidy. And these are simple things you can all do: tidying up your home, tidying up your working environment, tidying up your car, making sure you've got your training equipment in a bag ready to go so you've no excuse. That will make you more active and you'll do more training because of that. The environment dictates what we do. That's why if any of you have had the experience of going to a church, I suppose many of you had, there's always a quietness in a church. It's a place for worship for a lot of people. There's also a place to go and reflect. So when you go in there, that environment is not for loud music and shouting and bawling. There's always that kind of you're in a church, isn't it? And it's the same if you went to a football match or a sports game is completely different. You walk into that environment, it's an environment to shout and be very animated. The environment dictates that, and the environment is set up for that. So if you're struggling right now with something and you think I'm chaotic and I'm finding a lot of stress in my life, first thing to do is tidy up your space if it's a mess. If it's not a mess, if it's tidy, make sure you've got a space to do a particular thing, especially if you work from home. I know a lot of people since lockdown are working from home now, and if you don't have some designated space, even if it's just a small desk in the corner of a room, I would always say face a wall. Put something on the wall that's a nice picture so you're not distracted by other things going on in the room. But you can create a small space at home to work more efficiently. Environment affects your behaviour. When you understand that, you need to create the right environment for the right behaviour. You can start to adjust your space accordingly. And like I say, it doesn't just stop at your house. If you're into becoming more active physically, make sure you've got a bag that's a particular gym bag. If you do work out of the house, take your office with you. There's always a way to control your environment, and if you can control it the right way, you'll get the right results. I hope that makes sense anyway. I thought I'd share that with you today because, well, basically I've tidied my office up a little bit today and changed it around a little bit. And while I was doing that, I thought, wow, this feels really good now. It feels like an even better environment than it was. So I thought I would share my thoughts on the environment with you while that was fresh in my head. So there you go. If you enjoyed that video, I will see you again soon for another one. Until then, take care.